Hello, everyone, and welcome to your impromptu second snap take of the day. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast on Marvel Snap Zone, and we have huge news. Second Dinner is updating card acquisition. They're making ridiculously huge improvements that we need to talk about immediately. It will be easier for you to get more Series 3, Series 4, and Series 5 cards in Marvel Snap. Griffin, the PR person of Second Dinner, made the following announcement. I'm just going to read this out to you, then we're going to break it down piece by piece. As Marvel Snap grows, we've seen how acquiring cards has become progressively more difficult. Your feedback has been heard loud and clear. It helped us to identify and prioritize a number of major concerns. Overall lack of agency in acquiring new cards, new users struggling to get to the meta faster as it takes too long to earn all of Series 3 cards, returning players struggling to catch up after missing a season or more of new cards and rewards, the randomness of the spotlight cash system feeling frustrating. We take these seriously and are in the process of improving the ways players can acquire cards in the game. We currently have a design we think addresses many of the above issues. However, rebuilding some core aspects of Snap takes time to get right. We are in the process of gathering additional feedback on the design while work continues on production. We are taking some steps near term to improve quality of life around card acquisition. So January's patch will double the drop rate of Series 3 cards and collector's reserves from 2 of every 9 to 4 out of every 9. This will substantially reduce the time for newer players to acquire all Series 3 cards. Again, no editorializing. This is a band-aid fix, but something we can do quickly. Next, increasing the token output from Spotlight Cash duplicates from 1,000 to 2,000 tokens. We know there are multiple issues with the Spotlight Cash system, but one of the biggest complaints is pulling a duplicate from the fourth slot with a hard-earned Spotlight key. Again, this change is a band-aid, but fairly straightforward, so we can release it quickly. As previously mentioned, we're planning an even bigger series drop in the first quarter of 2025. So, worth noting that this update will not happen today. This takes place on January 14th. That is the schedule for the next patch. That's still about 3 weeks away as of now, but please remember January 14th is the scheduled next patch when these updates will happen. You can see on the screen in front of you the rest of the OTA and patch schedule going through March. We know that we have an OTA coming the week before in January, and then the week after in January, then a skip week into the patch, then OTA, skip OTA. So just so you know, we know exactly what the schedule is. We know that this change doesn't take place till January 14th. So it will not help you until then, unfortunately. However, this is a genuinely big change. Second Dinner addresses the following 4 problems, or recognizes the following 4 problems. An overall lack of agency in acquiring new cards, and that's still going to be true. Tokens are the only real way to acquire Series 4 and 5 cards by choice, unless they just happen to be in Spotlight caches. And as we can see from this month, they're giving us a lot of chaff, a lot of filler in these Series 4 and 5 Spotlights. So having a way to get them more effectively using tokens is really important. Increasing that does increase our agency. It doesn't really increase the Series 3 agency, but if you get double the cards, you're just going to have more stuff to play with if you're still going through Series 3. New users are struggling to get to the meta faster. It takes too long to earn all Series 3 cards. This isn't a fix for that, but it is a huge help. We'll go over what that number looks like literally in a slide, so don't stress it. But this is a huge help to getting to the meta faster, especially for people going through Series 3. Returning players struggling to catch up after missing a season more of new cards and rewards. This does nothing for them. If you are a player who's playing less, they still need to do something for you. This doesn't really help you if you finish Series 3 before you left. You'll get more tokens, but unless you're like, you don't have keys because you haven't been playing, so you've been grinding out those resources, so this is not a help. And the randomness of the Spotlight system feeling frustrating. This will help. That 2,000 tokens is literally double 1,000, so that's a lot more, right? That's as much more as we could reasonably expect, I feel like, at this point. But the big caveat there is it's still not a new card, right? It's still only 2/3 of the way to a Series 3 card. So it's way, way better. You only need to hit that twice to get a Series you used to need to hit it 3 times to hit a Series 3 card, right? Now you need to hit it 3 times to get a Series 5 card, and that is obviously significantly better. It's going to really be a huge influx of tokens into the game. So those problems are being addressed here, but they're not being solved, which they note in fairness. So doubling the drop rate of Series 3 cards and Collector's Reserve from 2 out of every 9 to 4 out of every 9 is huge. I wish they would let you choose. When I was going through Series 3, they let us choose what Series 3 cards to buy with tokens. They cost like 1,000 tokens, even make that like 500 tokens. and you can just buy your Series 3 cards. I think that would go a really, really, really long way to making this just a fundamentally viable system. I think if they did that, we'd honestly kind of be fine with Series 3 and going through it. But we do have doubling the rate, which is a huge, like genuinely ridiculously huge update. We are increasing the token payout from Spotlight Cash duplicates from 1,000 to 2,000. Again, this is a huge, huge difference. You miss 3 times, you get this. You get a Series 5 cards. You miss 2 times, you get a Series 3 card and extra stuff. That's a full. I mean, it's half the time to get a Series 5 card, and it is 2/3 of the time to get a Series 4 card, but like at this point, you don't like they're not changing the rate you're gonna pull Series 4 from that random spot, so you should still probably not be buying Series 4 cards unless they're absolute must buy. If you don't know this, the random spot on the spotlight has a 2/3 weighting to a Series 4 over Series 5 card. So first it rolls Series 2 out of 3, and then it rolls card. And if it's a card you don't have, you get it. If it rolls a duplicate, you get the tokens. So you're still fairly likely to get a Series 4 card, especially because Series 4 is smaller and you'll be going through it. So you're probably going to want to save up for Series 5 cards there. But that is a meaningful change in acquisition, assuming that you can open for about 2 new cards a month. If you are a season pass buyer, you can open for about 2.5 new cards a month on the spotlight system. So you're going to end up getting an extra Series 4 or 5 card out of this, basically, out of this change. So this is a meaningful change in card acquisition. And again, we have an even bigger series drop plan for the first quarter. I'm hoping that means February, not March. I have a bad feeling it does mean March, but I'm hoping that means February, not March. They do a lot of planning around series drop, so we'll see what that is. All right, so season pass buyers can eventually get more cards. Season pass buyers are now going to be able to be almost complete, I believe, with this. They were very close. I know that fundamentally, a conversation I always have. I have a big video that I will link at the end of this video. It'll be at the end screen of this video, which is how to get every card on Marvel Snap. The math on that video won't be right anymore, but the steps to achieve it will be because they've changed so many things. It's worth noting that season pass buyers will be able to get almost every card. People who've been playing for long enough who just buy the season pass and optimize the way that video suggests are generally speaking 6 or 7 cards from complete. Well, they just got their rates doubled. They'll be at most 2 or 3 cards from complete if they manage their resources properly. That's huge. That means that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even if they just keep this. The Series 3 in complete time should be cut in half, which is huge. I've been building over on my Discord decks for Series 3 players. I have them send me the collection, and then I just build like 5 decks and build a plan of attack for the next cards and spotlights you should be focusing on in order to best address the meta. Cutting the amount of time it takes to get through Series 3 as a player who buys the Season Pass from 8 months to 4 months is huge. It took me about 3 months when I got through Series 3, and that didn't feel like too much. That felt like a totally acceptable time for it to take. So this is much, much more palatable, and it means that people will have access to more decks more quickly because of the randomness of Series 3. As I'm building these players decks, it'll be like, oh, you have Ultron and Patriot but no Mystique. Oh, you got Null, but now you need X-23, but somehow you don't have Venom or Death or whatever, right? Like, this will really, really, really alleviate that problem. I think the biggest beneficiaries of this change are the Series 3 incomplete season pass buyers. If you do that and have patience, you will be really far ahead, way, way, way faster than you would before. And I'm just going to leave you with some quick guesses as to the series drops. My guesses for the Series 4 to 3 drops, and they said bigger, so my guess is a lot more goes to Series 3 because it takes less time to complete. I guess Gladiator, it's time for Gladiator to go down. I think there's a paucity of 3 drop cards in Marvel Snap that are really playable on turn 3 in Series 3 or below. So Gladiator helps to address that issue. Ghost Spider, the other 2 move enablers are Series 5 cards in Aranya and Madam Web, so I think they can safely drop Ghost Spider without losing too much. Havoc is a card that never really found its footing. It started in Series 4. I can see it dropping. Hercules, they keep trying to sell us, which I would assume means that they're just going to drop it. Meek is not in the best discard list, but it is a card that they like a lot, so it's easy for me to see that dropping. It's another straight to Series 4. Lady Deathstrike, straight to Series 4, should probably drop. It answers a lot of stuff in the meta while being powerful and never really finding a home for long. Silk is great, but often out of the meta and thus can be safely dropped. Selene is terrible and should be dropped, and Nebula has just it feels like been in series 5 and 4 forever, and it's time to drop Nebula. I wish they would drop Zabu. I wish they would drop Darkhawk. I wish they would drop Null, but because they can so effectively sell those, I don't think they're going to be that generous. I think they're just going to give us way more cards instead of giving us way better cards. From Series 5 to Series 4, I think it's time for a Nihilist to drop. It would not shock me if a Nihilist went down. The card has fallen out of the meta. It's got a good win rate whenever you look it up, but it's not an especially high play rate, and getting into more people's hands should help that. Same thing for Black Knight, which is some really fun and interesting decks, but doesn't get a ton of play. I would expect that to drop. Kyera, which will be over a year old at that time, should probably drop. I think it's time for Cassandra Nova to drop because all the other things that they're releasing early, the King Eitries and Agonies of the world, are Series 4, so Cassandra should probably be Series 4. They're giving everyone Elsa over the next week, so if you don't know that, make sure you log in every day. The login rewards over the next week will be Elsa Bloodstone, so that's a free Series 5, so once everyone has her, they're probably going to make her Series 4. Corvus Glaive doesn't really have a home, so he's likely to go down. Hulkling never found a home, but is very good, so I expect him to go down to encourage more play. Same thing for Frigga and Makari. Those are three just good cards that don't see enough play, and I expect them to be dropped to encourage more play. Misery is a card that they put in spotlights in the record time. Its second spotlight appearance happened, so I assume that they're going to drop it because now they've already got their couple spotlight appearances out of it. Marvel Boy, same concept, has come back now. I believe this, by the time this happens, will be a third time, so now they should be safe dropping that. Nocturne will drop on the X23 principle, I believe, where a lot of people have already bought that card when it was one of the best cards in the game, so they should be safe to drop it now. Namora is another card like Hulkling, Frigga, Makari, except better, that builds archetypes and gives people options if it's there. Werewolf has been out forever, and it's probably just time. And White Widow is terrible and was nerfed into oblivion and should probably just be dropped. That's my take on this. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that sub, hit that like, hit that comment. We are trying to hit 16,000 subs by the end of 2024, and your view here would really help. Your sub here really helps. A like and a comment make the algorithm show us to more people. And on this very video this week, you have a chance to win Galacta. We are giving away a Galacta this week and next week. All you have to do is sub, like, and then leave a comment. What comment do you have to leave? Well, that comment is answering this very simple question. How do you feel about these changes? Cool. You answer that in the comments and you are entered to win a Galacta Season Pass. This is happening on every video this week if you want to check out others. We have some really great Doom 2099 lists for you this morning, and we're going to do every Doom 2099 list tomorrow morning. If you'd like to check out a stream, today is Thursday as of recording this. I will not be live today, but I will be live at some point tomorrow on Friday. Make sure you follow twitch.tv/PulseGlazer if you'd like to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you're as excited about these changes as I am. It seems like they're actually listening. Series 3 players genuinely rejoice, especially Season Pass Series 3 players. See you tomorrow for a gigantic video. Peace.